2,000 videos. I didn't even set out to make a whole bunch of videos. It just sort of happened. All I wanted to do was get out of my comfort zone. Making videos was certainly getting out of my comfort zone, and provide some kind of a value for a ton of people to help them with any aspect of their lives, anywhere from health, healing, happiness, financial freedom, self-confidence, and all those things. And I've done it. Now, I totally, I meant to make a special episode for video number 2000, and another 80 some odd videos have flown by since then. This is like number 2080 something. So what I did was I went back to look at number 2000, and as it turns out, totally unplanned, video number 2000 is when my friend Lisa Carbonara interviewed me. She interviewed me about certain things I found that make people successful versus a failure, things that piss me off and what I do about it. Just kind of a raw, very different kind of interview with all kinds of little nuggets in there to help people out. So over 2,000 basically products that's for free that you and anybody else can download. You can share them with people. I just want people to download. I've made so much stuff, so much contribution for free. And I just recently started making product for money, actually, if you can believe that. So to date, I've got like one product for money, over 2,000 product for free. That's quite a ridiculous lopsided ratio, but I'm okay with that. And there will be more product for money going forward, and way more free stuff going forward too. But what I'm gonna do to celebrate, I guess, my 2000th video, which was 80 some odd episodes ago, I'm just gonna stitch that video to the end of this. So as soon as I'm done talking right now, you don't have to do anything, just let the video keep playing, and it'll get to the interview that I did on my 2000th video that I didn't even realize was my 2000th video when I was making it. So there you have it. Please feel free to share this. And if you want access to all my other videos on health, healing, happiness, firing your boss, financial freedom, self-confidence, and all these things that you can use to get an actual result, and not just positive affirmation shit to make you feel good, but actual stuff to get a result that really makes you feel good, just go to my website, tombirkenmeyer.com, same spelling as it is on my social media. And I've also got fireyourboss.xyz, not .com. .com is different, don't go there, that's somebody else. Fireyourboss.xyz. My .com is tombirkenmeyer.com, and fireyourboss.xyz. You'll find my YouTube channel there, which has the storage of all my 2,000 plus videos, which is growing, and hundreds of blog posts. And you'll also find my, so far today, one product that I have for a price tag. Imagine that. Okay, so without further ado, just sit back and enjoy. Feel free to share this.
Hi, Tom Birkenmeyer. Thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm excited to ask you these questions and hear your answers. So let's get going so we don't waste any precious time. So I'll be looking down from time to time because I have some notes here. My first question to you is, what is your story? In other words, how did you fall down the rabbit hole of needing to transform yourself physically and emotionally so you can help others?
Well, for one, I love rabbits, so why wouldn't I go down rabbit holes? And for two, I have no idea what these questions are, and that's the way that I wanted it. So I'm really on the spot. So let's see. The rabbit hole was, the first big thing was I lost my job at no fault of my own. That sucked at the time. That was like my world was ending kind of thing. But to make a very long story short, I started dating somebody who had gotten involved in this Beachbody coaching thing. And she wasn't a fitness expert or anything like that. And she got really great results with her physical health, her mental health. And then she started making really nice money with it. So I saw all these things happening and I said, I want to do this. And so I signed up with her, and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And not just, with my physical health, I was weaker than you wouldn't believe. She was, my girlfriend was pushing heavier weights than me by a lot. And I was also sick and tired of doing the right thing at my job and showing up every day on time and going above and beyond. I even got, merit increases, that little carrot in front of me. And I kept going for it, like the obedient worker that I was. And I got sick and tired of that. Where did that land me? It landed me in the unemployment line, which ran out. I ran out of unemployment for a long time until I found this. So and a lot of other people in that set of circumstances working hard. There's a lot of people working hard out there. There's a lot of people that don't know what to do to get healthy. And as a result, almost everybody is really unhealthy financially, mentally, and physically and emotionally because of all these things. So I have a deep desire to not just do for myself, but to do for other people too, to like show them the way. My girlfriend did it, that inspired me. I did it, and I want that to organically keep inspiring other people to want to do it too. The ripple effect, you could call it. Inspiring people by actually doing it and overcoming our challenges openly and honestly.
Okay. Question number 2 is, what is the theme of your story? And what I mean by that is, have you been repressing your passion, or have you experienced lots of ill health and disease yourself? Now, some of this you went over, but I'm going to go ahead and continue reading part of the question here. Have you struggled physically, emotionally, and financially? Have your relationships failed to feel like how you really want? Are you ready to start telling your new story about what you really want and deserve? So again, what is your theme? I gave you some examples.
Okay, I remember the first question. What is my theme? My overlying theme is absolutely freedom. That's my value. It's my theme. I've always wanted to be free. I never liked having a job. I loved some of the people that I worked with. Once in a while, I had a cool boss. But the whole idea of I have to ask permission from a gatekeeper to do anything, or have my time controlled and manipulated away from me, or I couldn't pay my bills. The whole concept of living underneath that kind of oppression, underneath other people that could tell me what to do. Never liked it. I just didn't know of a way better. But now I know a better way, and I'm doing it. And I have been free of needing a job since February of 2010. And I ain't looking back. So my theme is freedom, and that's typically the people I connect with, my tribe, as we like to call it nowadays, people that just want to be free and they don't want to be oppressed anymore by the paycheck, by the dollar, by their boss, by their banker, by any of that nonsense. And I forgot the rest of your question. So if you could break them one by one for me. I have bad memory.
Pretty long. It was all pretty much the same, though, to get down to what your theme felt like. So you pretty much answered it, but let me just go over it again just in case. You already went over that about the struggling financially after you lost your job. How did that make you feel emotionally?
Emotionally, I felt like a complete loser. I depended on my parents, mommy and daddy, once again to take care of me. I was, in my upper 20s, going on 30 years old. How pathetic is that? We have a term now called boomerang children. That is, they leave the nest and they come right back because something happens to their job.
Yeah. Okay, that's excellent. Okay, so what is your identification factors? And what the question means by that is, in other words, I'm just going to read it right here. What challenges and breakthroughs do you want to help people and your team members? What would you like to see them focus and overcome within themselves? And how can you use your problems? So again, these are your identification factors.
Yes, absolutely. If I can help people get over their addiction to a stupid paycheck, that would be the coolest thing on planet Earth. Because once somebody is over their addiction to a paycheck, they can actually begin to make more money than they could make when they were addicted to a paycheck. It's kind of backward how that irony works. But people start thinking in terms of a perceived value that people want to pay money for to improve their lives, which I'm not going to get into that here, but I had to learn that. And I realized I'm capable of learning stuff. Other people are capable of learning new things and having a shift in their brain from this stupid, needy dependency of money to breaking free of that nonsense. And just basically any excuse that we've ever had, that I've ever had, I'm very open and honest about my excuses. I used to say I can't afford, I don't have time. I used to blame anything outside of the confines of my brain, and I didn't hold myself responsible for hardly anything because nothing was my fault. It was not my fault that my job was offshore to India. That's true. But that's not why I was suddenly in this place where I was financially strapped and had all these problems. I was doing nothing all this time to build a residual and passive income. I didn't even know what that was, so I wasn't even on the search. So I had to get on the search and find answers and learn new things because anybody is capable of it. Anybody can draw a line in the sand anytime they want to, a big, thick line, and jump over it with both feet instead of one foot planted on one side and another foot planted on the other side. And anytime we draw that line in the sand, that can be representative of a new decision that we've made, a different belief that we've had, an aha moment that we're going to take feverish action on. Doesn't really matter what it is. To overcome these justifications that we have to protect our egos from hurting, that would be like the ultimate thing to inspire people to get over, because that's a constant process within myself. And if I'm out there and open with it, then I think, well, I know because it happens one by one, other people catch on and they're like, if that guy, Tom, special ed student. So I was a straight D student. It was awesome. He can do it. Why can't I do it? So there you go.
Great answer. And is there anything else that you want to elaborate there? When you say that you're not going to get into that right here, feel free to get into whatever you want. Expand as long as you want. We have all the time to really hear you expand on it and come through with that.
Sure. Okay, I'll expand on that point just for a moment. So as you know, I'm an independent team Beachbody coach. That's the opportunity I grabbed hold of. That's where I create my residual and passive income is through being an independent Beachbody coach. So basically what that is I got the product, I started using the product, I got results with the product, I shared my results with other people, the struggles, what I had to overcome in my head, physically and emotionally and mentally, whatever I had to overcome to score these little victories along the way, shared that openly and honestly. And some people were really attracted, they could relate to it, it inspired them to jump on the Beachbody train with me, and those are the people that I build this wonderful team with, of people helping people get healthy physically and financially and emotionally as a result of that. So in a nutshell, that's what it is to me, to build a residual and passive income that's value-based, perceived value-based, instead of being addicted to a paycheck. And as a result, there's more paychecks and more security and more freedom. Okay.
Okay. Oh, my notes left hand. Okay, perfect. That was a great answer. Okay.
Holy run-on sentence, Batman.
So I will read this in its small little paragraph. So, pardon me while I put on my fashion glasses.
They're fashionable.
All right. So this is a couple questions in one, but they're basically the same. What is your why for becoming a Beachbody coach? Everybody who becomes a coach really needs to feel why. Now, you've told us some of those reasons, but I'm just going to continue here. Without this why, it's definitely, we both know that's definitely more difficult to connect with people and to find people who you can help. So, how do I say, in getting in touch with and fully to connect to your why, what is your daily fuel for continuously putting out this new content? For example, your why might be to retire your spouse or to give your children or your family the kind of lifestyle you never had. That would be an example. So again, in a nutshell, what is your why for becoming a Beachbody coach?
All right. In the beginning, my why was because I was afraid of starting. I was afraid of becoming homeless, which I kind of almost was. I was fearful of losing my first tier needs. That's pretty scary. You know, your first tier is, am I going to eat? Am I going to breathe? Am I going to be alive? Am I going to have shelter? Am I going to be alive? So that was kind of my original why. So that was extremely motivating for me. I didn't need anybody else to motivate me. I was more than sufficiently motivated. And then over the course of time, my why has evolved a lot, has progressed. And a lot of people's why, they don't evolve because they stay stuck because they're not doing anything different. It drives me crazy to see that. But now my why is, okay, I want to be here for my parents, which I am now. They're older. They're not as mobile as they used to be. They require care. Emphasis, the word care. And what better person to provide that care than their son, a close family member? So I don't have to go to a job. I can be here. I can care for them. I can help with all that stuff. It's a big deal. And also another why has popped up. I'm adopted. I finally found my birth family just a few years ago. I had already achieved financial freedom and independence when I had found them. That means when I connected with them, found out that they are long distance, I did not have to go to some boss and grovel for the time off or just ask permission, whatever the formal protocol would be. You're basically asking permission from a gatekeeper who could say yay or nay for any reason or no reason. I didn't have to go through that humiliation. I could do it, and I didn't have to check my bank account. The cash was there because I'm making residual and passive money, the complete opposite of ordinary earned job money. So I was set. I could go. It was only like 3 weeks later after I initially got in touch with my birth family. I was on an airplane out to the beautiful wilderness of Colorado to visit with them for the second time. The first time I don't remember because I was only like a day and a half old. So that was an incredible experience. And I've been going out there a couple times or so a year ever since then, just continuing to build these new relationships with my new extended family. So that's a big part of my why now too. And another part of my why is the mystery of the unknown, because I know that no matter what, and everybody listening to this knows this too, there's some phone call you're going to get tomorrow, and you're either going to be free or you're not, period. I mean, really, someone's going to pass on, you're going to need to be there, maybe you can't, maybe you have to make a tough decision between your job and your income or whatever. It's just, it sucks, and there's no need to live that way. You can emerge just like I did at some point in the future if you get started like yesterday. But yesterday's gone, so that leaves today. And then, you know, a year or two or whatever, that time's going to pass anyway. So I figure the time thing, it doesn't make any sense to throw that out there. That's so dumb. That time is passing anyway. So I want to emerge, and now that I've emerged, I want to stay there. And it really lights me up to if I can equip other people to do the same thing for their own why. And my why, I'm sure, will continue to evolve.
That's really a great story. I really like that a lot. I have a question for you that popped up for me. Quickly, could you explain what you mean by residual and passive? Aren't those the same, or are they very different? Could you explain the difference, please?
Sure. Residual income is basically, I'll use an example. It's basically you're building on top of what's already there. So you start at nothing typically, and let's say your first year you make, I don't know, $20,000, but it's residual. So the second year you don't have to try to recreate that like you would at a job. Constantly recreating, that's where the hamster wheel paycheck comes into play, because if you stop, the income stops and you start. With this, that's established. Year number 2, maybe I triple it to 60,000. Again, year number 3, I don't start over at 0 or 20 for that matter. I keep going, and maybe it doubles that year, who knows, but it builds residually. Another popular way to build residual income is to buy rental properties, because you buy every property is residually new income building on top of itself. But who has 25% down payment for a house? I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So that's not a viable option for almost everybody. So network marketing is like the way to go. And then passive money basically is just money that comes in, whether it doesn't matter what you do with your time. You could take a vacation, you could work, you could not work. There's an old saying, you can roll over in bed or roll out of bed, and that money comes in anyway. So that's your freedom. Residual and passive money are the only income types that sets you free. Any other income type, you're a slave to money. You're actually needy on a paycheck, or you cannot pay your bills, or you starve. That's every job paycheck, and it's most self-employment people too.
Nice. All right. Okay. Couple questions in one here again. So describe the opportunities that being a Beachbody coach has produced in your life that you never would have had otherwise to experience. This is about revealing to us here how your life has changed since you have joined Beachbody Coaches, either, you know, a person who's using the products or coach or both. So if I know you've been doing this for a while, so you can go back to the time when you were new, how it changed you, or the whole evolution of it.
Okay, cool. When I first signed up, it's important to know that I wasn't going to try it out. It was do or die. I mean, I seriously meant it. This was it. It was do or die, because I was looking at my first tier needs. So my first, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, well, would you like me to read?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's kind of a long paragraph here. So describe the opportunities that being a Beachbody coach has produced in your life that you would never have had the chance to experience before. This is about revealing to us how your life has changed since joining Beachbody. I know you're not new, so you can go back to the time you were new, or now, or all of it. Just how has your life changed since becoming a Beachbody coach?
Okay, the very first thing was the possibility of what I've always wanted, to be free. Because in the beginning, I was worried about my first tier needs. It was like do or die. There was no trying it out. I wasn't kicking the tires. Ever since I enrolled, I was like, I'm doing this for real. This is it, or I'm going to die trying. And so the day that I enrolled, it's like I remember thinking to myself, I don't even know how I'm going to build it yet. I just know I'm capable of learning new things, because I'm a human being like all of us are. So we're capable of learning new things. All I know is I can learn stuff. I'm going to, and I'm going to figure it out. And now I've got this possibility, because now I'm in. Like before I wasn't in, so nothing was happening. Before I got in, I was going down, right? And now I'm in, so now things are going to happen. So that was the first thing. Then as things started happening, slowly in the beginning, and then more rapidly after a while, I just began to have more freedoms. First, my first tier needs was taken care of. I could eat without scarcity. That's cool. And then I had this option of I could call up the job search. That's probably maybe among the biggest things right there. What else is going to give me that option of not having to have a job anymore? I mean, really, maybe I get seriously injured I earn Medicaid and Social Security. I mean, who wants to do it that way? I don't. So just now on my own assets, so to speak, I can take care of myself. I'm independent. People with a job, like it or leave it, you're dependent on somebody else to take care of your income. You depend on a retirement from an asset that you don't own. You're dependent on whatever to take care of you. Now I'm independent. And without this, that would have never have happened, ever. I'd always be dependent. And when you're dependent, you might as well change whatever your professional title is at your career to professional gambler. Because it's an asset you don't own. You have zero ownership over it. Somebody else does. And when you have zero control and ownership, that equates highest risk possible. The more control you have over an asset, the lower the risk. So given you have zero control, a job is a professional gambler profession, no matter what else you call it, because it's the highest risk on planet Earth. And you always know an employee by their language. They say, I want to secure a paycheck. And boy, what a scam that is, man. So now I'm in control, lowest risk possible, don't need a job. The possibilities of that, it's like this big umbrella. I can go visit my birth family. I can fly to Hollywood and visit Lisa. I can go to Las Vegas, my favorite city on the planet. Like, what's your favorite place? Where do you want to go to more than? Mine's Las Vegas. I go there a lot, don't I, Lisa? And it's wonderful. So I can do all these things and be there for my parents. And I think I'm repeating myself now, but I can do what I want to do. That's the base. I can do what I want to do. And there's things I want to do that's important to me.
Perfect. That's excellent. It's fine if some of these questions, it's almost like, well, I already answered that, but it's really great to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. So don't even let it all flow. Even if you feel you're repeating yourself, it's all good. Okay. So describe your ideal team member and what their Beachbody journey might look like to you. In other words, where do you fit into helping them accomplish their goals?
My ideal team member is they're going to have the guts to be themselves and not crumble like a cracker when someone says, boo. Someone that doesn't want to live in the small confines of these little boxes that other people build for them to live inside of. That just drives me up the wall when I see people speak from places of within this box that they want to live in. I'm like, someone that wants to shatter the glass ceiling in the name of being themselves and being more of themselves, like this unsang song that's in their soul that they finally want to let out. That's the ideal person. Now, I know that's just a concept and it's kind of vague, but beyond that, I don't care. Like if someone's male, female, black, white, religious, what they believe in and all these other things. I like having a diverse team as far as all those things go. The commonality is going to be the spirit of somebody. They want to be free and they want to be genuine. They want to prioritize making a difference over preserving their ego and their self-image in the eyes of other people. Don't have to suffer the consequences of really bad decisions. That's a pretty big deal, right?
Yes, I'd say so. All right. And were you all done with your ideal team member?
Oh, yeah, I think I was. Yeah, okay.
So I'll make sure. Okay, so how do you feel equipped to help a new team member reach their goal?
Well, I have an onboarding process, which I've worked very hard on. And it's gone through much, much, much trial and error. And I've borrowed ideas from other very successful people with very successful onboarding processes so that I can confidently say to someone who's looking at this, hey, you're not going to be like Moses led out in the desert for 40 years to wander around. You're going to know exactly what to do when you come in. It's not going to be overwhelming. It's going to be digestible, and we'll run at whatever pace you want to run, walk, or crawl at. It doesn't matter. All I ask is that if you want to do this, you just do what you say you're going to do, and we are so golden, it's ridiculous. And we'll make it happen. We'll figure it out.
Awesome. Okay. What is the defining factor of why people should work with you over other Beachbody coaches? What makes you stand out? Tread lightly, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. Let me hear it all.
Okay, an answer that I know a lot of people aren't going to respect, but you should enroll with the coach that you vibe with, whether it's me or somebody else. I don't come from a scarcity mindset. And in fact, there's more than plenty of people where after I started, the process of sharing this with them, I'm like, wait a second, we're way too off base. I think we're a bad fit, no offense, but there's tons of other coaches. Go find one you vibe with. It's just not working for me. Or some variation of that.
That is really great.
I'm really not looking to get anybody. I want to just organically attract with intention, let it happen with intention, nothing forced. It's all natural. If somebody does this, they got to sell it to themselves. Otherwise, it's like dragging a stick through the mud. They get nothing out of it. I would get nothing out of it. Just frustration on both ends. Nothing is accomplished. No lives are changed. So it's got to be organic.
I agree with you 100%, and that's an amazing answer. I would like to just go a little bit deeper just for a second into, okay, I agree. It's not, if I'm hearing you correctly, it's not about convincing or getting somebody to come on with you. It's about attracting. All that said, the person's attracted to coming on board with you. They're not thinking about team necessarily, or maybe they are, but can you tell me one or two outstanding factors about yourself where you think that maybe you have the edge, or maybe it's not an edge, but why they should choose you once they're feeling it with you and everything?
Sure. Well, I've got my own original story, as each of us has our own original story, and that's either going to relate to somebody or it's not. I don't really do a good job at selling myself, so this is a really tough one for me I don't know. I guess I could say just go through my blogs, my videos. I think video is probably the best way, because then you get to see all my little quirks and my subtleties that, nothing else is going to pick up, that a picture or typing isn't going to pick up. So just, go to my, go to my workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz site, read that, and then click on over to my YouTube channel. You'll see the link for YouTube and see some of my videos, and you'll probably know pretty quickly when it's, especially video, if you are in the same wavelength as me.
Nice. That was an address you gave us. Work with Tom. Why don't you say it again?
Workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz. Not .com. That's a force of habit. It's a .xyz. Workwithtom.fireyourboss.xyz. All
right. So you may have answered this question before, so feel free to either repeat or maybe something else will come out. What obstacles did you have to overcome?
Okay, the first obstacle was in my freaking brain. I had all these things around me like, okay, sure, I had absolutely no income, not even unemployment. I literally had no income. That's an obstacle. But the bigger obstacle in the beginning was my stupid belief system. I can't afford it. I can. I tried one of these before 8 years ago, and I quit, and all these other things. So no matter what, freedom of the mind has to come first. All other freedoms follow freedom of the mind, period. So once I got over that hurdle, then it's like, all right, I got to figure this out. So then I began working on a list of 31 ways to raise money without having any. And I got myself funded so that I could get started with this coaching opportunity. If I didn't replace I can't afford it with what can I do to afford it, then my brain would not have gotten creative and it would not have found the answers. And then I'd still be, who knows, right? Maybe I would have been homeless. I don't know. Can you imagine? I mean, that's the difference between not just night and day, but life and death. I mean, I literally mean that in every sense of the word. So that was a pretty big, same thing with time. I had no time. I was going to college full time and a half, and I had other adult responsibilities. I had to figure some stuff out. So it was all in my head. I mean, we got all these things outside of us that we say is the problem, but it's not. It's not time. It's not money. It's none of those things. And I believe if a person doesn't recognize it's purely in their brain how they respond to stuff, then they will probably never, ever figure it out. And I have also learned, and this took a lot of humility, the ego doesn't want to hear this. What the ego doesn't want to hear is that if, crap, I got sidetracked again. I hate it when that happens.
Well,
when you say when you say I can't fill in the blank, can't afford, I can't whatever, then you're basically telling your world and the universe that you lack the creativity and the ingenuity to get outside of the box of how everyone else is thinking to find the answers, because all the answers are outside of the box of where everybody else is living. Okay, that's
I like it. So those were the obstacles that you had to overcome. So what were the most difficult things you faced? I'm not asking the same thing, but you know, maybe a little
sure.
deeper.
The most difficult thing I faced. Gosh, you know what? I got nothing. Just the last answer I had. I can't even think of anything.
So out of all those difficult things, I heard you mention not knowing maybe that you were going to eat perhaps, or where you're going to live, or how you're going to juggle your schedule. Out of all of that, which was the hardest? Would you
My
say?
brain, and after my mindset, I guess just, oh, I know. The last thing I wanted to do, no, that's not true. Okay, I hated the prospect of having to go back and get a job. I was fully willing at first because I didn't know of a better way until my girlfriend at the time showed me a better way. But in the interim, I was like, I got to go find another job eventually. I just wanted to curl up and die.
All right. That sounds like pretty much the worst thing to have to overcome is curling up and dying.
I mean, really, I went above and beyond every job I ever had, and I was going to stay there till retirement. And where did that land me? Where did my loyalty land me? Yep.
All right. Well, switching gears now, I would like to know, what was the first moment when someone gave you a compliment or acknowledged your transformation? When was that?
Did you say the first or the last time?
Let me repeat.
Sorry.
When was that first moment when someone gave you a compliment or acknowledged your transformation?
I don't even remember. It's such a blur to me. I'd imagine within the first 90 days. No, the first 30 days. Yeah, I remember my first transformational progress picture was, I did my pre-pictures and then my 30-day progress. I was doing a 90-day program called P90X, and I took those first pictures and I put them out there in the message forums. This is before social media, and everybody in the message forums. So I guess it was, the message forums. Yeah, okay, I do remember.
See? We have this way of digging these questions, these answers out of you.
Yeah, I want to add to that.
Yes.
We don't always have people in our household or whatever that are supportive. I mean, my parents are great, so thankfully I've got them, but a lot of us aren't. And so this underscores how important it is to be connected socially with people online. So that's why people like Lisa and myself, we run these support groups on Facebook, these closed, private, safe groups where people can do like what I did. We post our little successes, people cheer us on, they support us. That is a big deal. And a lot of times people quit because they don't have that support.
All right, I agree. Switching again, just to another topic here. Hey, I'm the messenger here. What pisses you off?
Is that the verbiage in the question? Because I like it.
It is. That's why I kept it. I knew you'd like it. So what pisses you off? It could be anything. Just what pisses you off?
Excuses and liars.
You want to elaborate at all, or are we going
Sure.
to?
Yeah, like when somebody comes up with an excuse and then it's actually the rationale that follows the excuse. Like nobody can stop at an excuse. They have to have the sound reasoning. People will do amazing mental gymnastics to rip themselves off every chance they get with excuses. Excuses are just the instrument to rip ourselves off. It's a well-planned lie in excuses, and it's backed up by sound rationale that we can believe in so our ego doesn't take a blow. And in the end, we know deep down inside that doesn't really work anyway. We actually chip away at ourselves slowly but surely. And as we chip away at our true selves, we're slowly but surely living the life of a complete nonsensical lie that we surround everybody with. And that pisses me off. So there we go.
Nice. I like you being pissed off and telling us like it is. Okay, so here's a loaded question. What keeps you up at night?
I sleep like a baby, so that doesn't apply to me. When was the last time I had a hard night's sleep? I sleep like a baby now because of where I'm at. I'm taking care of my health physically. I do these great workouts. I drink Shakeology. I eat good, a lot of plant-based whole food nutrition. I cut dairy out of my diet because dairy is toxic, poisonous garbage. And I do a lot of yoga, which really has helped me find the calmness in the storm. And if you can find the calmness in a storm, you can sleep really good at night.
Yes, I agree with you. So since you sleep really well, I'm personally going to rephrase the question. So, let's say when something weighs heavily on your mind, let's say that you're just still or you're walking, whatever it is where you feel something heavy on your mind, what is that? So
Okay. Okay. That's what the question meant. I'm a little slow. See, anybody can do this business.
When you have a really great person interviewing you, but go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. The things that weigh heavy on my mind are my personal plateaus. That does weigh heavy on my mind because I want to advance. I can only hang out on a certain level for so long until I need to go. And other things that weigh heavy on my mind is, I guess it goes back to people's excuses and the rationale that they have for them. I'm always thinking to myself, okay, what can I say or do or gesture, verbal, nonverbal, what can I possibly do that's going to help people to penetrate their minds of some really bad thinking and open them up to a new, better way of thinking that is more in alignment with who they are at their core and what they really want. I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. That weighs on my mind more than anything. I want to make a difference in how, not what people think, but how people think.
Nice. Good job. Just 2 more questions here for you.
Okay.
That I can think of, but I might think of more.
That's cool.
What accomplishments have given you a sigh of major relief?
All right, I'm just going to name the biggest one. No, okay, I'll name 2 of them. When I got my first paycheck, my first residual paycheck, because it's the complete opposite of job paycheck, that first residual paycheck was a sigh of relief because it's like, I'm onto something. I can scale this up now. Like I got a result. I just do that more and learn how to do it better. So that was pretty cool. And then fast forward to when I crossed that threshold of, I don't need a job anymore. February of 2010. Don't need a job anymore. That was the biggest threshold for me.
That is awesome. Love it. Okay, so how have you defined your own or other people's expectations? How have you defined your, defied, not defined. Defined is a whole nother question. We can do that one too. But how have you defied your own expectation or other people's expectations?
I don't understand the question. Defied, like I have an expectation and I prove myself wrong.
No, how have you defied it? How have you proved them wrong? Maybe it was somebody on the outside saying you can't do this, or maybe yourself like I can't do this, I should quit, or something like that. How did you defy your own expectations, overcome them, defied the odds?
Okay, my expectations was I'm going to do this or I'm going to die. So I don't know if I ever defied my own expectations. All I knew was that I was going to do it. As far as other people's expectations, I'd have to say mostly it was I don't really get too much of it anymore once in a while, but in the beginning, I would say, before I had proven myself, I had a few people that would really put me down and tell me I was a worthless loser and that I was a skinny boy and I was too girly and what else? I don't know, just real stupid stuff. Some of it I don't even remember. But it honestly didn't even so much as waver me. Like I know a lot of new people that will do something like this and that will waver them. It will cause them to quit, and it's unfortunate. But as for me, no. So you really got to have a strong constitution, I think, to do something, anything outside of the box, whether it's this or anything outside of the box. Otherwise, you'll be in that stupid box the rest of your life. And just in more recent years, after I've proven myself to a point, I'll get people that, okay, now I've proven myself. You're selling false hope to people, Tom. Shame on you. Getting people's hopes up. Snake oil, potions. There's a special place in hell reserved for you. I've been told those things. Absolutely. I've been told, Tom, I'm going to destroy your entire evil empire. I'm taking the whole thing down. There have been at least 2 people that said they were going to come to my house and I don't remember what they said, but it was something not good. Those people got blocked immediately. No response to them at all. and if I ever did see them, I'd file a restraining order immediately. I don't know. If you're going to do something great, get ready for it. It's coming. The only alternative is to never be great at anything. And that's far worse, in my opinion.
That's really a great way to look at things. Well, I have completed my list of questions. I find that our conversations are always very, very interesting and they can go on forever. So I don't have any more formal questions set up for you. Is there anything else that you want to add before we wrap?
I can't think of anything, but yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to ask me anything or whatever. I don't know.
Who's your favorite on your team?
What's that? Oh, my favorite person on my team? Well, that was a setup, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Okay, so I'm just joking around. What I would like to add is that we are all a family, and we all add something different and all come together, and it's really cool.
Yeah, well said. I like that too. I like the variety of people that we have, different walks of life, different backgrounds, professions, different goals. Some people, they form teams where it's like they say, you want to find people just like you. I don't want to find people like me. I like the differences. The only commonality I want to have with people is what I talked about earlier. It's like we're hungry, we're driven, we're going to do, we can depend on each other, and we want to lock arms and we want to take our differences and harmonize and do some cool stuff. That's,
Yeah,
I don't know, it's the commonality I like.
I agree. Thank you so much for your time today. A lot of great nuggets. I can't wait to listen to this again and use it throughout our team and really learn from it and gain inspiration from it and all that good stuff. So thank you so much.
Well, thanks for making the interview so great, Lisa Carbonara, Ms. Hollywood Star. With your
All right. All right. Thank you, Tom. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.